Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl, she nurses. I nurse is what I do, and I'm gonna bring y'all that tea too. So I'm trying out a new software program today. It's not the one that I'm eventually gonna get, the big one that I want. It's just another one that I'm trying from my phone. So we will see how this goes. Today's video is going to be actually not one video, but two videos about something. Of course, you know, it showed up in my feed and I had to talk about it. I actually saw this a couple of days ago and I was like, oh my God, I have got to give my 2 cents on this. Now, I did see that Carlos King had already did a reaction video on it, and I love his reaction videos. So I purposely did not watch his so I can just give my commentary on it, on what I think happened with this CPS worker and her trying to lure this young lady into being a streetwalker, basically. This just disturbed every part of my being, okay? Let's get into this mess. And this is fair use. It is for the purposes of reaction, commenting, education, criticism, etc., 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 all that blah, blah, blah stuff, okay? All right, now let's get into this mess.
And we begin tonight with a story that you'll only see here on Fox. An employee with Child Protective Services is caught on camera telling a 14-year-old girl in foster care to become a prostitute.
That's right, and this girl is one of hundreds of kids in CPS custody living in hotels all over the state. Fox 26's Randy Wallace live from Southwest Houston here with this story. Randy, the exclusive.
Yeah, Jonathan. Now, earlier this year, a federal judge scorned Child Protective Services for making kids available for prostitution in the CPS system. Now we have a case where an employee with that state agency is actually encouraging prostitution of a 14-year-old child.
Don't be a hoe, be a real hoe.
Wouldn't they remove a child from a parent?
Okay, first of all, excuse me. I didn't play the whole clip. You can find it on, I believe it was Fox News Houston is where I usually get a lot of my stories from, believe it or not. But did she say, if you're going to be a 304, be a real one? So I've come to one conclusion. Either A, she's a madam, the CPS worker is. B, she's still being PIMP'd out herself and she's recruiting. Or C, she quietly quit already. I recently saw a video about people quietly quitting their jobs. Now, how you can spot somebody who quietly quit their job, just long story short, they just don't give a damn about nothing. How they treat you, how they talk to you, how they throw your food in the bag, whether you get ketchup and salt with your order like you asked for at the when you were ordering. They just don't care. They've already made it up in their minds. They've already mentally quit their job, and they are doing the bare minimum to stay there because they already quietly quit. They just hadn't physically quit. Y'all ever heard that song, Your Body's Here With Me, but your mind is on the other side of town? Yeah. That's basically what they doing. They just there. They don't care. They over their job. It's a wrap. But for you to try to PIMP this teenager out on more than one occasion. And did y'all see the video? If you need to go back and listen, go back and listen. They were reprimanded back in January, I believe the video said, about and this trying to get people to, these young girls to be streetwalkers. I'm like, what? So they were already under fire. And excuse me, but I thought when kids were not with parents and CPS has to come out to the house that they put them in with a temporary foster family. I didn't know they put them up in hotels. I didn't know that. So excuse my ignorance on that. I was thinking, okay, if you're not in the home with your mom, we're going to put you in a temporary home with a loving family. It should be a loving family that's going to take care of you until we can get your mom back on track. I don't know. Maybe it's emergency situations where they put them up in hotels. But y'all, that is bananas. Okay? Bananas. Yes, I just said that. It just popped in my mind and I said it. Crazy. That is nuts. If you are in a position as serious as being a CPS worker where you have to use your critical thinking skills, like sometimes in critical situations, you got to think, okay, what's really going on? Let me get to the bottom of this. Let me get to the bottom of this and see what the best option would be for this mother and for this child right now. The last thing you would think a CPS worker would say is, if you're going to be a HOE, be a good one. Girl, you failed the system miserably. And I know your family would be embarrassed. Your friends would be embarrassed. Your job would be embarrassed. And you better pray, you better hope, you better wish that that family does not take legal action, because almost everything comes down to $1 these days. So they have a valid case. You're supposed to protect the children and you didn't. You're trying to put her in harm's way where she would be walking the streets and probably more than likely ending up on drugs. And her life was just ended up being a tragedy. You know what I mean? All right, that's enough of my rant on it. That the CPS worker, Lord. Now let's go to the next trifling case that I found. It was right under this video, believe it or not. Let's listen to this hot mess.
To sign a S3X in order to rent a home as part of an ongoing federal trial now. 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears has the bizarre story of a property manager who required his tenant to sign a sex contract and is now facing allegations of discrimination, harassment, and fraud. Darcy, what is this all about?
Well, you guys, it's actually hard to fathom that someone would put something like this in writing. We've had to cover some of the words because we can't show them on TV, but here it is in black and white. It's so crazy, I didn't believe it until I saw it in the court record. This is Alan Rothstein, the man who wrote the sex contract. Court records show he forced a prospective tenant to sign it in November 2018 in order to rent this 4-bedroom home on Wedgebrook Street near Las Vegas Boulevard and St. Rose Parkway. At the time, Rothstein was the property manager and also a real estate broker. He lost both licenses after a Nevada Real Estate Division investigation. He now stands to lose a lot more if a federal judge finds him guilty. He's currently on trial for violations of the Fair Housing Act in this lawsuit filed by his former tenant. And the facts are unlike anything this experienced housing lawyer has ever seen.
My reaction was, you had to be putting me on, that nobody in their right mind would go to the...
Alan, come front and center, please. Step right into the light, Alan. This has got to be one of the most desperate cases of I need some coochie that I've ever seen. This man is a property manager helping the property owners rent out their places. And he decided to take it up on himself to put into the contract, you got to give me some if you want to stay here. I need your rent and I need your body. That's what Alan said. That's what Alan did. He tried to do it anyway. So I guess the verbal agreements weren't working out so well. And Alan said, I'm just going to put this into what I think is going to be a legal and binding contract. So if you don't give me none, I'm taking you to court. Yeah, the person did sign that lease with the intent on not giving him any because they knew it wasn't right. They knew it wasn't. Mr. Allen decided he thought he was going to test the waters anyway. Try to get a little something on the side. Of course, he lost his job. Of course, that didn't hold up in court. But for you to think you can add that to the lease, y'all, and go and watch the video in its entirety for yourself. I didn't want to play the whole video, but I am playing it, parts of it on fair use. In the lease agreement, the lease contract, he even said that they had to agree to them not being single and not having any boyfriend that was strong or aggressive in any type of way. So he knew he couldn't fight, basically. He said, I need you to tell me that your man can't throw a good punch if, we get caught with this thing. Y'all, this is crazy. I don't know what's in the water around the world today, but some people need to use some filters with their water so they won't get to so many toxins and they're messing with, their brain activity. I just had to share this with y'all. Y'all go watch the videos and be thoroughly entertained because these people have lost their mind. And as far as the CPS worker, I wouldn't be surprised if she faced like some kind of further jail time or something like that, especially if the family decides to sue her and CPS because she was representing them at the time she did that. And I definitely wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happened with Alan and his property management skills, okay? But that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you all have a great weekend. It's your girl, She Nurses, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.